It's a rainy day out, and this wonderful box arrived full of random vintage toys, and so we are going to open it up together. So this lot cost me about $100. I bought this from a secondhand store online. This was not an eBay purchase. And there's some really, really good stuff in here. I think I got my money's worth for sure. Let's dig in and see what everything is. Okay, so first thing first, this is what caught my eye when I saw the lot for sale, right? These tins, which typically contain trading cards. Now, that was not the case. Oh, these are actually just tins by themselves. This is a Nabisco sort of promotion. I did not know that. So in the early 90s, there were a lot of Marvel card sets that came in tins. And I couldn't really see from the pictures what these were, but my hope was that they were sort of filled with cards. That's not the case. However, they're pretty fantastic in their own right. So these will be put to good use, holding various things, not ammunition. Just want the federal government to know clearly I won't be storing ammunition in these because I don't own any. That would be a violation of my parole, and I wouldn't do that. So just so everybody knows. So that's the first thing. Sort of a bust, but really, they're kind of beautiful, so it's actually a win. I'm gonna say that's a win. Next thing, we got some Hulk figures. I absolutely love this original Toy Biz Marvel line. However goofy they may be, these were it. This was your only shop in town if you wanted action figures of these Marvel characters. I never actually had this Hulk. I didn't really like action features so much in my figures, but I'm looking forward to popping this open. The card art is really quite beautiful. And then this is just kind of a goofy, bendable figure. Bendable figures are kind of the bane of my existence. I did actually have the Captain America, I'm now realizing. But I think this could be kind of fun and goofy as well. I love the Hulk as a character, comic-wise anyway. I did spend a little bit of time sort of rebuying a bunch of Hulk action figure lines, of which Toy Biz made some really stellar ones. Maybe a future video will be based on that. Next thing we got, an absolute delight from 1996, Shadows of the Empire. If you were my age or anywhere around that, this was a huge deal. This was sort of the first new media of Star Wars during the drought years. Fantastic figures, each in their own right, but then you add in a sort of purple hologram sticker. You have your sort of Han Solo stand-in with Dash Rendar. This is a fantastic figure. You know, characters being able to disguise themselves, always a lot of fun. And then Zizor, the big bad of Shadows of the Empire. When are we getting his Disney Plus series? That's what I want to know. But this is great. I don't actually still own these figures. I've sort of long parted ways with them, but these are a lot of fun. I consider this one to be a great steal for sure. Next up is later Toy Biz, and a really fantastic line with one pretty big flaw. So these are the X-Men classics. Got quite a few here. So we got Psylocke, we got Nightcrawler, we got Gambit, we have this very odd Wolverine, and then Juggernut. And this line has some of the best sculpts, and for the time, very good articulation. These were really like comic book accurate versions, but this light up feature and the fact that one of their arms are sort of two parts of ABS plastic with electronics inside kind of limited what could have been a really flawless execution of these characters that hadn't quite been done right at this point. I have this Juggernut already open. It's really fantastic. This is a sort of softer plastic helmet that goes on. It fits very snugly, and it's sort of a good representative of the character. This Wolverine I never really cared for, honestly. It's such a weird head sculpt, and I don't ever remember seeing this color costume in the comics, although I could be completely mistaken about that. So this isn't one that I owned. Wolverine, to me, doesn't really need a gun. This one was a sort of something I passed on in my childhood. This Nightcrawler is fantastic. This is one of the best Nightcrawlers. The X-Men box set Nightcrawler has more articulation, but this one had a sort of Joe Mad style sculpt. I wouldn't be surprised if this was Phil Ramirez's work. The sword is very goofy, to say the least, but I also have this Nightcrawler open, and it's really fantastic. It's a great representation of that character. This Gambit is probably in the old Toy Biz line one of the best sculpts, however, hindered by that sort of trick arm. I did not own this character, this specific figure, but his light up feature actually kind of makes sense, and I may give that a go, see if the batteries still work. You know, just such a wonderful color scheme on Gambit. Always one of those characters that I really liked. I was sort of right place, right time when Gambit made his first appearance. Then we go on to Psylocke. This female body has been used and reused so many times for different characters in the Marvel series from Toy Biz. Again, one of those characters that actually does make sense to have a light up feature because of her sort of Psyblade, or psychic knife as it's called here. But really, when this line was out, this Age of Apocalypse line was also on store shelves, and this is a far better executed line in my opinion, and a little bit more current because this was Joe Mad's era of X-Men, and you know, everybody was sort of obsessed with it at the time. Real star of this lot, I'm gonna lay it on you right now. Look at this, Independence Day, the Will Smith blockbuster. Oddly enough, these figures started going for a lot of money, the aliens more so. And I'm actually happy to have acquired a duplicate of this Shock Trooper because it has a really fantastic sparkle pearlized finish, and I want to send this to the factory to see if they can mimic that plastic treatment, because it doesn't pick up on camera and it doesn't pick up in photos really well, but when you see it in person, it's very stunning, and I would love to be able to recreate that. This is the Will Smith figure I had when this movie came out. What was this, 95? 96. So I was 16 years old, went on opening day to see this movie, bought the Will Smith figure. This figure did everything in my sort of missions and escapades. Like, he was the go-to guy. I love this toy very much. It's really fantastic. Like, the armor snaps on, you can store all of his weapons, the helmet fits great. Like, really nice, realized sort of execution of an idea. The real star, though, is obviously Jeff Goldblum. I did not have Jeff Goldblum or the President figure when I was a kid. I don't think I've actually ever seen or held these figures, so I will be popping these open and giving it a go. He does include a Apple computer, far ahead of his time, as always with Jeff Goldblum. I do not believe I will be able to play these mission discs. That would require some antiquated software. So that's it, folks. That's everything I picked up in this random lot from a secondhand store. I think I got my money's worth. Would you agree? Would you disagree? Did you have anything that I've shown here? Does any of this spark a flare of recognition with you? Are we simply consumers, and this is all we get to do in this world we've created? We just get to buy stuff, we just get nostalgia, we can't have healthcare? Is that our reality? Are we stuck? Who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments and what the solution to this modern era is. And hit that bell, like, subscribe, do all those things. Follow us and Instagram us, and never message us. The only thing left to say is pizza out.